In the Gosho, eunuch, the term eunuch. What are the Gosho? The Gosho are the writings of Nichiren Daishonin, a 13th century Japanese Buddhist prophet and reformer, 1222 to 1282. From Gosho number 177, this quote: "The Bodhisattva precepts do not discriminate against the four classes of normal human beings, animals, eunuchs, and hermaphrodites. The same type of Bodhisattva precepts may be given to all." Here's the original Japanese up there, and the term translated as eunuch in the original is komon, meaning yellow gate. Ni kitachi means two forms, two shapes. That will be explained. The Chinese, all Chinese version has Huangmen, yellow gate, also in Irjing, two shapes. And that's Google Translate of that Chinese, just to compare it with the original translation. A more explanation or slightly updated Chinese version has characters Yanren, castrated person, which, eliminates the yellow gate. And double nature, instead of two shapes, it's double nature, the way I would read it, but it seems to refer to sexual organs, Liang Jing, double nature. There's a website that has an updated version of the Japanese, and they have some parentheticals. So for yellow gate, basically means a person who is, they put sexually incompetent, unable to have sex, I guess. And the Niigata, or two shapes, is, it says double organs, someone who has both sets. So that's hermaphrodite. That same website has an explanation of the yellow gate term. It says, yellow gate is a man who will never have children even if he marries a wife. The name was coined because eunuchs were the main employees of the Yellow Gate Palace, an office located inside the gate of the Chinese Imperial Palace, painted yellow. I'm going to go more into the five types later. Niigata, pronounced futanari, can be written also as further root. Actually means like maybe a second root, second set of sexual parts. Brahmajala Sutra, also known as Brahmanet Sutra. Nichiren in 1260 in a Gosho number 185, explaining the causation of the 10 worlds, quotes from the Brahmanet Sutra. If there are those who observe the Buddha precepts, whether they are kings, princes, government officials, prime ministers, monks, nuns, dwellers in the 18 heavens of the world of form, heavenly sons in the 6 heavens of the world of desire, commoners, here we go, eunuchs, lustful men, lustful women, male or female slaves, the 8 kinds of non-human beings, spirits, Vajra-bearing gods, animals, or persons magically conjured. If they can understand the words of the teacher of the law and undertake to observe the precepts in full measure, then they all deserve to be called beings of prime purity. In an English version of the Brahmanet Sutra, they say male or female prostitutes instead of lustful men or lustful women. And this section, it mentions eunuchs, but it's just about seat order. If you started taking the precepts earlier, you sit up front. If you came later, you sit in the back, irrespective of societal status. I like this quote. It's next. Discriminating among precept recipients. I think that heading was put in by the translator in English, but it mentions male prostitutes and female prostitutes. There you see the characters. It also mentions eunuchs down below. Again, it has the yellow gate characters. And those with no sex organ, mugon, that's Sino-Japanese, but literally the character is without root, which means without a sexual organ. Those with both male and female sex organs, and it's literally the characters just say 2 roots or 2 sets of sexual organs. Let's look at the Lotus Sutra, chapter 14, which in some ways is like a rules of monastic order. for monks. Mentions if monks going around teaching the law to people, there's certain situations to avoid. In this one, if he enters the house of another person, he should not engage in talk with the young girls, unmarried women, or widows, nor should he go near the 5 types of unmanly men or have any close dealings with them. He should not enter another person's house alone. And they define 5 types of unmanly men as men who are impotent or suffer from other types of sexual disabilities. A little more on the 5 types. Wikipedia defining the term pandaka. This is just a paragraph taken out from the article. In the Vinaya Pali Canon, which goes way back, 4 gender types are defined: male, female, ubhabtobhyanjanaka, and pandaka. The former term is intersex or people with signs of both genders. Pandaka is a less clear-cut case. All references have a central theme: some form of deficiency in male sexual reproductive capacity or reproductive desire. In traditional Hindu pre-scientific thought, all reproductive capacity or burden has been assigned to the sperm and lingam, with no credit to the female or egg. And the article goes on to define the 5 types. One is one who can only be aroused by giving oral sex on another man. Another is can only be a voyeur. Another is someone who's become a eunuch through violence or special artifice. And Pahan Pandaka is their sexually arousement is tied to the phase of the moon. And then the last is someone with no clearly defined sexual organs. Leon Hurwitz, who translated the Lotus Sutra, also has a similar list. It seems a little different, and his source is the Mahavyutpati. Going on with another Lotus Sutra, he should not delight in nurturing underage disciples, shramaneras, or children, and should not delight in sharing the same teacher with them. He should constantly take pleasure in sitting in meditation, and being in quiet surroundings, learn to still his mind. This is an interesting one. But widows and unmarried men and the different kinds of unmanly men, all these he should not associate with or treat with intimacy. This is a verse portion of the previous prose. So many times in the Lotus Sutra you have a prose and then restated in verse. And see the 4 characters that are highlighted below. Literally, and many, not men. So it just, instead of not men or unmanly men, it literally, Chinese is very Yoda-like or terse. Gyu, Shou, Fu, Nan. But remember those 4. We're going to talk in two more slides. And one more Lotus Sutra quote. Again, they should not make distinctions by saying, this is a man, this is a woman. Okay, here's the scholar before Nichiren was Qiantai, who lived in the 6th century and wrote many important works about the Lotus Sutra. Words and phrases of the Lotus Sutra has been translated by Yasunari Kato. However, his phrase androgynous people, that's the phrase I was telling you about, where in that quote we said, and the different kinds of unmanly men. Okay, so this refers to a group called Pandaka, translated as eunuchs, who have both male and female characteristics, but are neither fully male nor female. There you see the Chinese characters. And then just a Google translated the same passage, and all those who are not men, their name is Pancha, Sanskrit Pandaka, which is translated as Huangmen, yellow gate. The eunuch, yellow gate, has the appearance of a man or a woman, but cannot be male or female. Which translation is better? Nirvana Sutra seems to be a little bit disparaging about people with no sexual, not necessarily eunuchs, but they don't use the yellow gate term, just no root. And both these are similar. This is the most popular version of Lotus Sutra. And I took this from a Google Translate. The Yasunari Kato also translated this, but I didn't quote him. And then there's another translation, less popular, but I think this reads a little better, but the same idea. Such a bhikkhu, monk, is called a person without roots, without sexual organs. A person with two roots, sexual organs, or a person with indeterminate roots. For those with indeterminate roots, when they desire a woman, their body is a woman. When they desire a man, their body is a man. Such a bhikkhu is called an evil root. He is neither male nor female, neither a monk nor a layperson. Such monks should not be approached, offered offerings, or respected. And that's a Google translation of the Chinese down below. I'm a little suspicious of that, and I won't get into, but there are some questions. Now, you've probably heard of hijraj, which are, I want to say, a third gender in the South Asian world, not just India, but Pakistan and other places. I looked up hijra. It seems to have a word, even Hindustani, but it seems to have come from the Arabic somehow. Usually means eunuch or hermaphrodite, but you can read more about hijras. It's very interesting. It's called the third gender. And to close, the first quote we did, the Bodhisattva precepts do not discriminate against the four classes of normal human beings, animals, eunuchs, and hermaphrodites. The same type of Bodhisattva precepts may be given to all. Thank you. Nam-Myoho-Renge-Kyo.